This is a tutorial on using Autodesk Inventor Professional 2013 and making a case for electronics. So when you start up Autodesk Inventor, you're going to get this welcome screen, and it's pretty simple. You can keep this, but I tend to just want to go straight to the program. So I'm going to say where it says start, display as startup, I'm going to uncheck it and just click close. So once that's done, then you can get into the program here. So there's multiple things in this program that you're going to figure out over time. One is obviously you got the tabs at the top, and when you click on the tabs you can see the ribbons come down, right? Where I'm going to start right away is I'm going to go to View, and under View I'm going to go to User Interface, and you can see how there's all these check marks with different things. So if you want to learn how stuff is really quickly, you can go, geez, let's turn off the model over here. What happens? Oh, and let's just go back to User Interface and go, oh, that's called the browser. Okay. Then you click here and you go View Cube, and you realize the View Cube goes away. Right? Navigation bar, you can see the navigation bar on the side goes away. So status bar, you get the thing at the bottom. So if by chance you ever click on this and go, uh-oh, where'd it go? You come up to View, from View you go User Interface, and you go, there's my browser back. Okay, and these are important to find out because some kids get stuck for a while because they can't find where things went. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is most of the stuff you're going to do is going to be under 3D model. So there's my 3D model tab, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to work in here and go, okay, how do I move things and stuff and that. So the other thing is, so that's basically where we're at, right? So let's get started on something. So in Autodesk Inventor, you always have to start with a sketch. So I'm going to create a sketch. So basically you're always going to start, and you can see this is the first thing here, and create a 2D sketch. And I'm going to create 2D sketch. And you're going to see that my planes come up now. And the planes are really important to understand because this is what you're going to work off of when you're drawing things. So to me, this is my top plane, right? This would be my front plane. This would be my left plane. And the reason I say that is if I click on the top plane right now, okay, you can see how it gets into a drawing mode. And I'm just going to finish the sketch and go back and out of it. Okay, and I'm actually going to take this sketch and I'm going to right mouse click, which you can't see, and I'm going to hit delete. Okay, so let's go back to create a 2D sketch. Okay, and from here, if I go to front, you can see it goes to the front view. If I go to this little home button, you can see it goes back. If I'm going to go to the right, you can see how it switches to the right. Press the home and it goes back. And if I go to the top, okay, so that's where I get kind of the top, right, and right, front, and top view from. But in the over here under Origin, you can see how it says Z or YZ, XZ, XY, right? So know that they call them XY, XZ, and X and YZ, but over here they're front, right, and top. Right? That's kind of just an explanation. A couple of things is if I hold my scroll button down, I can move it up and down or all around the places. If I hold the Shift key down, I can rotate it around. You can see it's rotating all around in the cube up top as well. And if I get lost, I can simply press home. Okay. I can also come over here and use different things here. So the hand, and oh, that just does that, right? So you can zoom in and out. So I'm going to right mouse click here. I can zoom in and out. I'm scrolling with my mouse button. Okay. So zoom in, zoom out, you get that. And if I lose it all of a sudden, the best thing I can do is come up here and click home. And there it's back again. Okay, so let's get started. So to get started, I'm in create a sketch. Okay, you're there, but now I got to do something with it, which is I got to select a plane, and we're going to do a box. So I'm going to select the top plane. Okay, and when I click it, you can see that it gets into the sketching mode. You can see up top here it's got sketch, and the ribbon down here is all changed. Right. The easiest thing to do is do a box. So let's go to rectangle, and under rectangle, what I'm going to select with the arrow down is rectangle 2-point center. And the reason I'm doing 2-point center is later on I want to be able to mirror things about the center points. So if I make a box that's off center, it makes it more hard to actually do things with. So we're going to click, and when I do this, can you see how it goes to green, I'm hoping? So when I'm in the center, it clicks on green. It's like a snap. And I'm going to come up, and I'm just going to pick any dimension right now. So I'm going to click there, and basically my box is done, but I haven't dimensioned it. So I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to click on OK, which you didn't see. Then I'm going to go to dimension. The reason why you don't see it is my video capture software is kind of doing something weird. So I'm going to click on dimension, and I'm going to click on the line that I want to dimension with my left mouse button, and I'm going to drag it up, and you're going to see the number 0.5. Well, I'm going to change that to 2. Okay, and I'm going to scroll out a bit so you can see this, right? And then I'm going to dimension the other line, and I'm going to say that's going to, oh, okay, we'll leave it at 4. That's good enough. Okay, we'll leave it at 4. I'm just going to hit the Enter key. Now, you always dimension things so you know how big it is, because you can change this later on, right? If I want to just get out of dimensions, or I can actually just click on it right now because I'm still in dimension, I can change it. So let's say I do want to change it to 2.25. I can just do that. But once I'm out of it, so I can just right mouse click, okay, and I'm going to click OK, which again you can't see. And now if I wanted to move the locations, I can just click on them once, and you can see how I can move dimensions around. I don't want to have them over top of each other or kind of in weird spots, so I'm just going to kind of move these so they're a little bit more centered, so they're easy to see later on. And basically that's the beginning of my box. Okay, doesn't look like much yet, so we click Finish Sketch. Now we're going to zoom out a bit, and I'm just going to move this up in the center. And now what I'm going to do is, from my 2D, I'm going to turn it to 3D. So I'm going to come up here to Extrude, and when I click on Extrude, you can see it extrudes it up, right? And in here, there's multiple places. Right here, I can put in 2 inches. Here, I can put in here 2 inches. So I'm going to put, I don't know, let's go 2.5. Okay, 2.5. You can see it changes automatically on the screen. I can take it and change directions. This is my plane that I'm working off of, so I can reverse the plane depending on what I'm doing. So yeah, let's reverse the plane for something to do. Or I can go symmetrical or symmetric, so I'm dead center. So if I'm going to kind of do something one way from the center and the other way, you might want to do that. So for example, if I was doing a wheel and I wanted it to be centered, parts of it, I would actually do symmetric instead. But I'm going to do this direction here, and you can see it, and I'm just going to hit OK, and there's now my box. Doesn't look too exciting, but it's a box. Right? Now I got to turn it into a case, which means I have to hollow out the center of this. And you can see as I go over top, different planes get highlighted, or different faces or surfaces, I guess, get highlighted. So I'm going to click on the top surface, and from the top surface, I'm going to click on Shell this time. And Shell removes material, and you can see kind of what it does. You can see in the example there, it hollows it out. So click on Shell, you can see it shells it out or hollows it, and I can hold the Shift key down and rotate this. Right? So you can see it's shelled out. And the thickness here, I don't know, let's just leave it at 0.1. That's under 1/8 of an inch, which is, I think, a good thickness. And you select OK again. And there's my shelled out box or case. Right? Now, you can kind of see, it's hard to see the edges. What I like to do is go back to View. And from View, go Visual Style. And Visual Style, I like to use Shaded with Edges. When you click on that, you can just see there's some black lines show up. So it's a little easier to see the inside of the box than that. Okay? So there's my basic box. Maybe I want to modify it. I think maybe it's too high. So I can come up to the Extrude, and I can just double click it. And you can see here I can easily just change it and change it back to 2 now. And hit Enter. You can see it lowered down. Okay, maybe my box isn't the right size. So I can come back into the Extrude and go to the Sketch this time. And I can double click the Sketch. You can see it goes back to sketch mode. And I'm going to say, really, this should have been 3. And watch, you can see it changes on the screen, and I can just click Finish. And now it's changed in size. So at any point in time, you can just come back into here and change the sizes around, right? And that's really handy to do. So I'm going to stop at this. There's my basic, box to get started. And I'm going to save this before I go any further. So I'm just going to go up to here, and go to Save. And I'm done. And I think we're going to go with that. Actually, you want to know something? I'm going to go Save As, File, Save As. And you can see in here I've got a folder. If I go down, whoops, oh, there's an error. Okay, you can see my structure. I'm at home right now, but it's, my name, folders, I call it school. I got Inventor then. You can have whatever directory you want. And I'm going to call this case top. And there we go. That's how I will save it, right? And that's how I'm going to finish off, and we'll go from there on to the next tutorial.